Let's talk about this upcoming matchup between the Hogs and the Bulldogs, because it is two teams that are winless in SEC play in 2025, but you shouldn't be sleeping on the Mississippi State Bulldogs at home thinking this game is going to be a cakewalk. Jeff Lebby's offense is a very hard challenge to stop.
Why is this such a big deal? After all, you're like, Evan, it's just a shoe. That is where you're wrong. Look, this is historic. Wall was good enough to be taken first overall back in 2010 behind numbers that are lower or even with Darius's.
Post-game, Arkansas wins the SEC tournament here with DJ Wagner. DJ, you followed Coach Cal here from Kentucky. You finally have your trophy. How does it feel getting the win today over Vanderbilt?
So yes, it comes down to a million things, but something funny in sports and in life is that history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. And tonight with that drop ball, it just rhymes to moments that give Razorback fans absolute heartbreak. Unfortunately, 2025, as great as the season was, won't end with a championship.
It's like me being on a boat right now. I hate boats, I am scared of boats, but we're gonna make it happen. It's all for TV, it is shaking, and so is the Razorback season, right? But how do you study that? Maybe you throw something in the wind that has never been done before.
I want to touch on kind of the returners, because it feels like in the college game today, it's rare that you bring back your entire rotation with the transfer portal and NIL and all of those kind of things mixed into it. What does it mean that everyone wanted to come back for another year and continue to hunt to get to Oklahoma City for the first time? You can't talk about the tournament championship without talking about number 5, Darius Acuff Jr., the MVP of the SEC tournament, showed out once again for this Arkansas Razorback program. 30 points and 11 assists in a game in which he had control most of the way.
I think when I see it now, I have an appreciation for myself in a way.
It was supposed to be a normal spring break for Hare, a trip to Cabo with friends to relax by the beach. Despite getting over strep the week before, Hare still felt something in her body wasn't right.
So I was like, maybe I should go back and see the doctor again, and I did. And she was just doing like a normal sick exam and was like feeling like the lymph nodes, and then felt down my neck and was like, oh, your thyroid feels a little enlarged, like we should go get that looked at.
One ultrasound and a week later, Hare finally had an answer to what was wrong.
I had papillary thyroid carcinoma, and like being 18 years old, they kind of said like this is pretty uncommon to see it in such a young female athlete. So that was really scary, and it had spread to my lymph nodes as well. I just wasn't really sure like how I was gonna go about that, but I think just like whenever they were telling me like my course of treatment and everything, they were very positive that I was gonna make a full recovery and I had a good prognosis.
The phrase full recovery, a bright light at a dark time. Still, soccer was the only thing she could think about.
That was the scariest part of it too. It wasn't the fact that like I was sick or that something was wrong with me. It was more the fact that like what is this gonna mean for the rest of my life? But then I was thinking about what about like when I'm done playing soccer and I'm like starting family, or like is it gonna affect that? Like what is that gonna look like for me? Just taking it day by day.
With her family back in Oklahoma, it was her second family here on the Hill that helped her when the going got tough.
It truly meant the world to me. Just kind of like having my own family here is like really what got me through it. So my parents were obviously like calling me and texting me every day, and I was like, I have everything that I could possibly need here in Fayetteville.
By the time training camp started at the end of July, Hare was fully back with the team and the training wheels were off. Even after an early injury in East Lansing that saw her get taken out of the game against Michigan State, Hare was able to break through the following game, scoring her first goal as an Arkansas Razorback.
It was just almost like a sigh of relief of like, oh my gosh, like I did it. Like I finally scored. They hit like a missed clearance and it went right back to Tank, and I was running on the backside. I was wide open and I called for the ball. She played the most perfect ball in. Like it was the most perfect ball, and I was like, just don't mess it up.
Down and in. Arkansas gets the goal, their 4th of the match.
My parents were standing right behind the goal when it happened, and I saw them like jump up and celebrate, and so it was really cool to see that.
It's a moment imprinted on Hare's memory, just like the scar on her neck.
It's taken me a while to kind of like see it and use it as like a source of confidence. You know, seeing it and like using it as a reminder that like I've been through a lot, and that using the things that I learned during that will only like take me farther.
In case you missed it earlier, Darius Acuff Jr. signed a deal with Reebok Sports Brand that includes the star guard getting his own signature sneaker that will be coined the Acuff One. He becomes the first NCAA men's athlete to have a signature shoe while still
in college. Now, Reebok doesn't have to give out shoes, and they usually don't give out shoes left and right. Acuff's their first male basketball player to have a signature shoe since John Wall back in the early 2010s. Welcome into your Big Trail Nation report. I'm Evan Kamikow. Now, you're probably wondering, why is this such a big deal? After all, it's just a shoe, and that, my friends, is where you're wrong. It's historic. Wall was good enough to be taken first overall back in 2010 behind numbers that are lower or even with Darius's. Acuff leads Wall in points per game by 6.7, minutes per game by 0.3. They're tied in assists at 6.5 per game. All of this, well, Darius has played 2 less games in college than Wall. The kid from Detroit has captivated America so far this March. The question remains, should he be the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft this summer? ESPN analyst Jimmy Dykes thinks so.
And I would have no problem if I'm a general manager taking Darius Acuff as the #1 pick.
Arkansas baseball taking on Central Arkansas in the midweek matchup tonight. We start in the bottom of the 5th. Kamikow 2 on. And that's going to be chopped through the right side. A team leading 32nd RBI this season for number 8. He continues his great hitting tear. We're all square at 2. Bottom 5, Hogs go up 1. Zach Stewart walked. And here's Mike Anu with more. A 2-run double for number 4, and the Hogs blow the game open. TJ Pompey been swinging a hot bat lately, and he does it again. Remember, we're still in the 5th inning. A grand slam to cap off the 10-run 5th. Arkansas goes on to win it big, 15-2 in 7.
We scored 10 runs before we made an out. We had 5 hits in there and 5 walks. I mean, I tell these guys all the time, just let the next guy get it done. Let the next guy get it done. Take your walks, fight.
Let's go to another diamond here in the Natural State. Arkansas softball also taking on the UCA Bears. Wonder if that was on purpose or an accident. Regardless, another big win for the Razorbacks. We start in the top of the 2nd. Natalia Rijo on 2nd. Kennedy Miller, a double down the line. Rijo comes around to score. Arkansas going to tie the game at 1. Top 3 we go. Ella McDowell looking to do some damage, and she does exactly that. A home run. The Razorbacks take the 2-1 lead. A great night to be a Razorback, not so much a Bear. Arkansas goes on and wins it 11-2 in 6 innings. Guys, that's a combined, let me do the quick math, that Arkansas put up 26 runs in baseball and softball, and they didn't even play the full games.
You know, talk about it, 15 unanswered runs, and then the girls were also, the women were down, 1-0 and had to come back. So
and you guys went and got the $2 hot dogs at the baseball game, right, during dinner?
No, we don't all get to sit courtside sometimes, Al, so.
Bye, Evan.
They're free when she sits in the dugout. You know,
guys, I haven't even been to a baseball game yet.
Hot dogs and Gatorades all around.
I haven't been to a baseball game yet this year. So
all right, but maybe
you'll
go to Florida this weekend.